What's up, everybody? How's it going? Austin Prechtelevate Performance, coming at you live today with a little bit of a less of a voice than I usually have, but that's okay. That's okay. As you guys are tuning in, let me know how your day is going. I'm just going to take a couple seconds and invite people to join this live, to watch, to tune in, come say hi, and yeah, hope you guys had a great. If you're in the U.S., hope you had a great 4th of July. I sure as hell did. It was a very good time. It was fun. Yeah, I had a really good time, honestly. And I'm excited to talk to you guys about this live because I think it's an important topic that some of you might need more than a little bit than others might. And it's just one of those things that, yeah, we'll talk about it here in a sec. So a lot of times people, ask me, they're like, Austin, like how, how do I get back on the wagon if I feel like I've fallen off, or, if I'm feeling kind of sick, or, maybe I did it to myself through kind of like drinking or things like that, or partying or things like that. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about that today. It's going to be a good time. So I hope you guys get some value out of this, and I hope it's useful to you. So we're going to get started in just a second. Hope that's cool. All right. And we'll call that good to go. Cool. All right, cool. I invite some people. All right, but as you're tuning in, let me know how your day's going. Drop some fire emojis in the comments. If you're watching this right now, if you're watching this later time, hashtag replay, so that way I know that you saw it. But we're getting off to a little bit of a later start today. Just in general, just to be fully transparent. Definitely this weekend was fun. We didn't have the kiddo for a few days, and so we decided to take full advantage of that and have some fun. So yeah, it was a good time. Definitely probably ate a little bit more than I should have, drank a little bit more than I should have, but sometimes that's how it goes. And I like to live a life of moderation, and I like to live a life of actually getting to enjoy myself from time to time. And sometimes that involves maybe not necessarily being fully in alignment with my health and fitness goals sometimes. And that's okay. That's okay. You got to have that balance sometimes. As long as you know that you're going to get back on the wagon once you're done. And that's the thing here, guys, is right now, after the 4th of July, if you enjoyed yourself, if you partook in, family events, oftentimes the reality of the situation is that those have booze. A lot of times those have alcohol, or a lot of unhealthy foods or high calorie foods. Their home cooked meals and things like that. And so, not the most ideal situation for somebody who is trying to, lose weight, or, be fit and healthy and things like that, and, live that kind of lifestyle. But as you guys know, I like to live a life of moderation. I think that a lot of people feel the same way in terms of, they want to be able to enjoy themselves from time to time. They want to be able to, but also still pursue things. And I don't think, I think you can have it both ways in a sense. I think you can have it both ways. So, yeah. Because right now, you guys might be like me. You might be feeling a little like me. You might be feeling a little bit rough. You might feel like you got a late start to your day. Maybe you have kids and you're having to take care of them right now while you have a hangover. Maybe you're at work right now, or you're watching this on your lunch break, and you're like, God, today I feel rough today. I feel like I can barely function as a human, let alone get my workouts in or track my nutrition or whatever it may be. And so that's what I want to talk to you guys about today, is just how do I get back on the wagon, right? How do I, get back to, being back in that routine, getting back into alignment, things like that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But let me know if that's how you're feeling right now. If you maybe enjoyed yourself a little too much this past weekend, or maybe you're feeling a little rough today. If that's you, let me know in the chat. Say me, if you're watching this right now. And like I said earlier, sometimes I don't know, Facebook's goofy as shit right now, where sometimes I can't see comments. So if you guys are commenting right now, I'm sorry that I am not, responding to them. But yeah, so if you're feeling rough though, that's how it is right now. And so, the best thing to do though is when it comes to, getting back on that wagon, guys, that is the key to success in a fitness journey. That is the key to success with a weight loss journey. It is not about being perfect. It is not about being perfect. I mess up all the time. Everybody that out there who is your role model, or who you look up to, or who you want to be in the fitness world or in weight loss or whatever it may be, like whoever you're like, looking up to in that sense, they mess up too. Like they screw up all the time too. Like they aren't perfect on their weight loss goals. They're not perfect in their fitness journey. They're not. What they are though is they're consistent, and they fall off the wagon just as much as you guys do. Maybe not as consistently falling off. I'll admit that, because you get better as you go along, right? But the key difference is that they don't stay off the wagon for as long as somebody who's just getting into this, who's just starting their fitness journey. They just don't fall off the wagon as much, and they also don't stay off the wagon for as long. And why is that? Well, a lot of that just comes down to, hey, Fadi, hey, how's it going, dude? Freaking legend. Let's go. Yeah, no, man. And so, the best thing to do though, like at its base, right? And this is the reality of the situation though, is like, the best thing to do is to avoid putting yourself in situations where you're going to get knocked out of that momentum, where you're going to get knocked out of that routine, where you're going to get like pulled away from your goals in the first place, right? That would be ideal, right? That would be ideal if we were able to just, never fall off the wagon, or never put ourselves in situations where, we're going to drink or we're going to eat a lot of good foods or overeat or whatever it may be, or, put us in the position where we might skip our workouts or we might skip our cardio. Like that's that's the ideal situation, is to avoid it in the first place, right? But the key here is like, that's not the reality of the situation a lot of times, right? That's not. Like we are very social creatures, humans are. Like we like to go have fun. We like to go on vacations. We like to party. We like to go and have drinks with friends and eat good food and things like that from time to time. And the thing is like, you shouldn't have to like completely like have your life be devoid of those things, just to, look a certain way or to feel a certain way or things like that. And so that's where it kind of like this whole like concept of moderation and like, just knowing that it's okay to indulge in those things sometimes, as long as we're mindful that we're going to get back on the wagon once we're done doing so. And the key there is not beating yourself up about it, because that's the main thing. That's the biggest difference, is like, when people ask me like, how do you get back on that wagon? You just start, right? You just start. You just pick back up where you left off without being a complete and total dick to yourself about it. Because what happens is that you make yourself feel bad about enjoying yourself. You then start to have like an all in, all out mentality, and you're like, well, I messed up this weekend, or I enjoyed myself this weekend, so what's the point in even trying if I, did it, if I messed up, right? But like, that's the thing, is like, once you start to recognize that like everybody messes up sometimes, and it doesn't matter that you mess up. It's just that you get back on the wagon. You try again. You just start again. And you pick up where you left off, right? Like, yeah, you might not get everything done perfectly that next day or the next couple days. Maybe your workouts might kind of suck. Or maybe you're, might take a couple days to get really back into hitting your protein again or something along those lines. But like, that's all you do, right? It's not that you like, that's the problem with a lot of people whenever it comes to their fitness goals or their weight loss goals, is that when they get knocked off that wagon, they beat themselves up a shit ton, right? They're mean to themselves. They don't forgive themselves for enjoying themselves, like, people do sometimes. And then what happens is that they basically have this like shame spiral where they fall off for a very long period of time. And then by the time, days, weeks, months go by, it's like they get reset, right? And then they have to pick back up where they left off, and then they have to start all over from like square one. And so that's the key, is just like not letting yourself get to that point because of being mean to yourself or having that all in, all out mentality in the first place. And so working on those things to make sure that you get back on the wagon that much quicker, that is the key. It's not about being perfect. Like, I'm not perfect. None of the people that you watch or follow that are doing what you want to do, or look how you want to look, or like be athletic how you want to be athletic, like, they are not perfect, right? They're not perfect. They're consistent, though. That is a key. That is a key difference, is working on building up that consistency and and that discipline. And that's all you do. Like, that's all it is. That's all. It's a very simple answer in terms of how to get on the wagon. It's just to do it, right? It's just to literally just like start doing your workouts again. Start tracking your nutrition again. Start doing your cardio. Start with, having your morning routine if you've got one of those again. Like, that's what I did this morning. I slept in a little bit because we stayed up extra late last night watching fireworks, and we stayed up late. And then so we slept in because of that to make sure we got some sleep. And the kiddo didn't have his daycare today, so the schedule was a little bit off. But so what, right? So what if your schedule is a little bit off? Just push things back a little bit and do it at a later time, or be adaptive and switch some things around. Maybe you don't do your workout in the next morning, but maybe you can hit it and get it in the evening, right? Like it's that like plasticity, it's that adaptability, and it's just that like desire to do it, like get started back up again, right? It's like you want it bad enough, or you want your goals bad enough that you're just going to like start again. You just pick it back up where you left off, and you're like, okay, cool, like that was fun. Like, yeah, I was kind of a little bit of a degenerate this weekend. Like that's cool. Like I'm just gonna pick back up and go get my workouts in and go and start eating my meals again that I like to do. Like that's fine. Yeah, maybe I set myself back, half a week or something like that from this past weekend, but I'm not going to beat myself up over it because I accepted those consequences and I was mindful of those consequences. And I know it's just temporary. And that's the beauty of having a fitness journey or a weight loss journey, and have it be sustainable, and it not necessarily, and it not be like a timeline thing, right? Not having it be like, I have to be this specific way or look this certain way by this date, right? Because then you've got all this like external pressure where you feel like you're like failing all the time because you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta run this race. Like it's not a race, right? Like it's not. It's a lifestyle shift, and it's a change. And there's never going to be a finish line. And that's the beauty of it, is that you're always working on being better each and every day, getting towards your goals. Like right now, I'm in a weight loss phase, but like I'm not gonna care if it took me 10 weeks or 11 weeks. I'm just going to be happy that I've got like a six pack and I'm enjoying myself. And I did it sustainably, right? And I was able to enjoy myself doing it. Like, you're not going to care if it took you an extra week to lose all the weight and hit that like goal that you have in mind. You're not going to care. You're just going to be happy that you got there. So that's why I think that, the key here is to make sure that you're just not beating yourself up all the time after you've enjoyed yourself. Like, just get back on the wagon. Be consistent, right? That consistency is key here. And just get back on the wagon and start again. Like, nothing says you can't. Nothing says that, you have to have this all in, all out success failure mentality and shame spiral yourself. So you guys just need to like make sure that that's honestly, like, I wish I had like a like magical answer or like whatever it may be, like, just like, this is exactly how you do it, and like it's so like this is a secret tip that nobody's telling you, like, but that's not the case. It's not true. Like, that's just like fancy, like shiny, like like bullshit. That's not true. Like, the truth of the matter is like you just start, right? You just pick back up where you left off. You just get better at being consistent and getting back on the wagon. The more you try, the more that you work at it. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good, man. Like it's one of those things where it's like, that's the secret, is like there is no secret, right? That's the kind of the beauty of it. It's so simple that, people a lot of times think that there's got to be more to it, but it's not. You just get back, you just start again, you just do it. But the key is just to not beat yourself up over it, right? That's the main key, is just to not be a total jerk to yourself that causes you to be off the wagon for even longer. And that's the key too, is just like, you never truly fail unless you like quit, right? Like, I don't feel like a failure today. My voice is kind of fucked up, and I definitely feel like my head's a little swimmier than normal today. But other than that, I mean, I'm still here doing the live. Yeah, I didn't do it at noon, but I did it at 12:30, and that's okay. I still showed up. Yeah, I didn't have my perfect morning routine that I normally have, but I still meditated this morning. I still wrote out my to-do list. I've got a little catching up to do on some things, but that's okay. Like, that to-do list and your goals and all those other, like, there are always going to be new goals. There's always going to be new things that I need to work on or add to that to-do list. Like, at the end of the day, like, that's where this whole, like, looking at it as like a journey and looking at it as like a lifestyle, like, it changes the lens at which, like, how you analyze and see yourself when it comes to your goals. It doesn't make, as long as you don't let it, one thing just to be careful of, I guess, is as long as you don't let it, like, cause you to be a procrastinator or like to be lazy or to like, not show up for yourself because I've always got tomorrow. I've always got tomorrow. Like as long as you don't like let it turn into a thing where you're constantly pushing shit off. I think it's an incredibly like sustainable way to look at your goals long term. So that's how you guys need to start to think about these things, and that's how you got to look at it too. Is like, I'm not any better than anybody else. Like I'm a normal person. Nobody like that you view is special. Like they're not special. I'm not special. None of the fitness models or people that you see on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, none of them are special. They're just consistent, right? They just got good at building up these habits and these skills and these disciplines. But anybody can do that. Like once you also recognize that that's all it is that these are just habits and skills that you practice, right? You practice at getting better at getting back on the wagon when it comes to your workouts. You practice at getting better about, just starting to track your foods again better and eating these foods again and getting back into these systems and things and getting back into your routines. That's all it comes down to. It's just a simple way of looking at it. But once you recognize that simplicity, it just makes it like all the easier to like, work on for yourself. So yeah, there's no secret. There's no secret to getting back on the wagon. It's just you do it. You just start doing it, but you have to have the other thing too is like you have to actually have the want, right? You have to actually want to do it. And I think a lot of people, maybe they didn't necessarily want their fitness goals bad enough, or maybe they just don't actually, want it for themselves. They just think that they do, or they like the thought of it, but not actually like the act of like putting in the work for it. And so a lot of times what happens is like, they have a party event or something like that. And then they're like, oh, maybe I don't actually want it that bad. So, and then they let it throw themselves off. And, at the end of the day, when you're ready, you'll be ready and you'll make it happen for yourself. But, you still got to put in that work. But other than that, guys, I'm done rambling. That's all I wanted to talk about today. For today's live is like, there is no secret. You just start, right? You just get back on the wagon. And every time you do it, you get stronger and you reaffirm to yourself that I can do this and still have fun and still enjoy myself from time to time. And yeah, so I hope that was helpful, guys. I hope that was, I know I sound a little off, but my voice is kind of funky today, but cool. Other than that, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I appreciate it if you guys watch this. Give this video a like. Feel free to tag a person or two in the comments that you think would get value from this. Because at the end of the day, like, nobody's special. Like everybody is capable, which is awesome because that means anybody can do this. Anybody can start a fitness journey. Anybody can lose weight. Anybody can build muscle. Like it's not, something that's like reserved for like special people who, are better than everybody else. Like those people don't exist. Like everybody that does this sort of thing is normal and not special. And because of that, that means you can do it too if you don't feel like you can right now, but one day you can. So yeah, cool. Other than that, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hashtag replay if you're watching this later time. Let me know your number one takeaway in the comments down below. And yeah, if that makes sense, let me know. Let me know if you have any questions for me about this. Feel free to drop them in the comments. So other than that, happy Monday. Hope you had a great 4th of July, and I will talk to you guys later. Let's kick ass the rest of this week.